Hey, Noto here from Spring Growth. This week we follow up on our MVP video, and over 2 short videos, we will provide you with 2 examples of how you could build an MVP for both the offline, which is a traditional brick and mortar, and the online world, which is going to be e-commerce. Before we begin, if you are new to the channel and believe the content we provide could add value to you or someone you know, please share, subscribe, or give us feedback. Okay, straight to it, because growth can't wait. Today we will look at how you can create an MVP for a yoga studio, which, before the pandemic, would be considered a traditional brick and mortar business. So for example, if you were thinking of opening up a yoga studio, the traditional method would be for you to beg and borrow from friends, families, and even banks for that capital amount. For example, let's say you look for a studio space in Sandton, as that's where you believe you should set up. A quick search on Property 24 will show you deposit and rent would be around 60,000 Rand. Then you'd need to actually buy the equipment, so speakers, mats, the works, just to make your studio welcoming, and we're estimating this to be around 10,000 Rand. Then you'd need to renovate the space you'll be working in, i.e. have the wooden tiles, put the wallpaper, signage, air conditioning, another 20,000 Rand. Then you need to get an agency to get the word out, so your marketing and sales for your yoga studio. Agency rates differ based on their services, but from my experience, a typical digital ad with some flyers, you're looking at a minimum amount of 10,000 Rand. At this point in time, you're looking at well over 100,000 Rand just to set up, and you don't even have your first customer as yet, and you have not proved this model to work. Now, let's look at how you would create an MVP for this yoga studio without spending more than 5,000 Rand. You begin with critical assumptions, which you would go out and test. So let us begin with our critical assumptions. For this example, we have 3 assumptions. The first one is, we believe our customers are willing to pay 150 Rand per month to come to our yoga studio. Our second assumption is, we believe we will get 200 paying customers within the first 3 months to cover our rental and operational costs. Our third assumption, which segues from 2, is that our monthly revenue from month 3 onwards will be 30,000 Rand per month. Let's pause for a moment to look at these assumptions as they are all interlinked. Remember, the key here is to go out and test these assumptions. Let's quickly look at what would happen if one of our assumptions turned out to be wrong. Let's say through research and talking to potential customers, we find out that they're not willing to pay 150 Rand per month and are rather willing to pay 100 Rand per month. This then would mean you need 300 customers instead of 200, which, as you can see, changes all your assumptions. So now, back to how we would create an MVP from this without spending more than 100,000 Rand. We will test assumption 2, as we believe that's the easiest to test and have the highest impact. So your first step would be for you to create a simple website, a landing page, describing the studio, location, and potential schedule. The site would include a free sign-up form and would allow customers to cancel anytime. Basically, an early bird sign-up. Look, this shouldn't cost you more than 1,000 Rand, including the website hosting and domain. And the sites to use include Wix and Squarespace, which are very, very easy to use. The second step in this journey, we need people to actually know about the studio. So you do a Google ads such as SEO and some Facebook targeting to direct people to this yoga site. There are different ways to test which channel will work at minimal cost, which is what we call channel market fit, and the main topic of the book called traction. Email us if you would like to find out more about this. Okay, back to it. So since you're a startup, let's keep it minimal. Let's keep it to 1,000 Rand budgets, 500 Rand for both channels, including Facebook and Google. Step 3 would include the tracking. You need to be able to track, and you'll do this via Google Analytics. You'll be tracking how many members sign up, and the cost here is free. You only need a couple of hours for analytics and make your decision from the data. You can now see the big difference in the cost versus the traditional method we spoke about earlier, and why we are fans of building an MVP. Okay, that's all for this week. as we know you have a business to build. Join us next time as we look at how you can build an MVP in the e-commerce space.